Welcome to On the Bit, your weekly preview of the weekend's racing. I'm Dave from Dream Thoroughbreds, and with me is Lenny from Bluegrass Bloodstock. How are you, Lenny?
Going great, Dave.
Tough day on the punt last week, Derby Day?
Oh, whitewash.
Yeah.
Very, very tough.
We don't really want to talk about it any longer. Yeah, a few blowouts really upsetting the apple cart. But our On the Bit specials, Zydeco won the Wakeful, and hopefully you loaded up and got a good start to the carnival. And if Super Cool had won that derby, we would have been flying today.
Yeah, no, he's a ripper run. He just didn't get the
2500.
trip in the end.
Yeah. Green Moon won the cup, defied his bad run in the Cox Plate.
Yeah, Lloyd's done it again.
Yeah.
Same with Efficient. He ran a lacklustre race in the Cox Plate, and then obviously just held up. He was trained for the cup, and that's what he's done here.
And looking back, it's obvious Lloyd just sets his horses for the cup.
That's right.
And why we jumped off is a mystery to all of us. But anyway, it's easy to look back. Enough of the could be's. Anyway, this week we've got the Group 1 Emirates Stakes over 1600 metres. And who do you like in the Emirates Stakes, Lenny?
I like a horse that's on the up. He's a Flemington horse. He's won 5 from 7. He's flying. That's Faulkner.
Lloyd Williams.
Lloyd Williams, lovely horse. Seen him in the parade ring a couple of times. Very nice horse. Huge win. They nearly broke Lovey's track record, which is very quick time.
Yeah, they went hard. Yeah.
There's been a few question marks saying he's a fresh horse. Going right back through his form, I see the horse did last preparation on the 28th of October in 2:11. He won at Moonee Valley and then backed up a week later at Flemington and won by 3.5 lengths.
Yeah.
So he has done it before. So when horses have done it before, they can generally repeat that performance. So I've got no worries about that. And he loves Flemington. He's just a horse on the up. So for me, I'll be going Faulkner. Be conceding a chance to Spirit Song, who's down in the weights. Really liked her run in the Turak behind Solzhenitsyn. Got beaten ahead, meets that horse 4.5 kilos better, and as in previous Emirates stakes, horses down in the weights generally are the ones that perform. So that's what you've got to be looking for.
Well, I'm going for the horses up in the weights. I'm going for Happy Trails in this race. He posted up on the speed in the Cox Plate, which was run with a fair amount of speed in that race, and only dropped off around the 400 metres and still worked strong to the line. But effectively he found the 2,400 too far for him. The drop back to 1,600 will suit him. I expect him to position right behind the speed. There's a bit of speed in this race, which will obviously help Faulkner, but I expect him to sit right behind the leaders. They'll probably maintain a steady pace. And I actually think he's quite well weighted, even though he's equal top weight. He's a weight for age winner over 1,600 metres this campaign, and his form prior to the Cox Plate was tip top. And we found out on Tuesday when Green Moon won the cup, you've got to forgive him the run, especially a run in the Cox Plate. You can get $13 fixed odds each way. He's on the bid for mine, and I think he'll run a big race on Saturday. Solzhenitsyn is the danger for mine. He's up on the 58 as well. Probably, I'm not really sure if he's really well weighted that, but he did win the Group 1 Turak, so that's why he's up to the 58. I actually don't find it a really strong Emirates, so I think he's the real danger. He's been set for the race all along. He comes into the race with the best lead-up form of any other runner, and he gets a nice smother in the run. He only needs to get luck to get off the inside because he's drawn barrier 1 at the right time in challenge, and I actually think the Quinella a moral in this, so I'm going to load up on that Quinella. Yeah, so you'll get good value of that Quinella. The other Group 1 is the Patnack Farm Classic over 1,200 metres, and it's a weight for age race. So who do you like in the Patnack, Lenny?
Well, if you went through the form lines of the Manicato with Seasire and Mental, they were very dominant in their win. But I'm going to go back to buffering. I'm going to forgive him that run. Yeah, you have to my eyes, he changed stride at least 3 or 4 times in the run. He never looked comfortable. Heathcote wouldn't run him if the horse hadn't bounced back, if he's not right. Yep. If this horse is right, he's won over $2 million. He's well suited at weight for age. At Flemington, he's run close placings behind the likes of Black Caviar and Hayless. There's none of them in this field.
Yep.
this horse is on song, he will just win.
Yeah.
Obviously, a horse like Sea Siren, second up, they weren't spruiking her first up, so she's obviously going to benefit from the run, so she's going to prove a danger. But I'm going to stick with Buffering. He's on the bit for me.
Yeah, well, as we said last time, I said to you the barrier 1 at Moonee Valley was a problem last time, and it was a bit of a risk. And he's drawn the outside on Saturday, which is where you're going to want to be on Saturday at Flemington. So he has drawn the right side of the track. But I can hear the sirens blaring on Saturday, mate. Sea Siren for mine just wins again. This race will set up very nicely from barrier 9 with the pace on. Well, the pace is actually on the outside of her, so she'll sort of come to the outside a bit. I think she'll get a really nice suck up for the first 600 metres, and Jimmy Cassidy is on fire. He won the Oaks on Dear Demi today. He'll give her some room from the 400, and her last 200 I think she'll be too strong. She's beaten Buffering every time they've met, and just like Northerly always used to beat Sunline, this time I think Sea Siren always beats Buffering. So she's favourite at $3.80, but she's on the bit for mine, Sea Siren. Stable news, Lenny. Any stable news for you this week?
Just stable news, just something for the followers that Bluegrass has been looking pretty hard with the success of the imports for the Cups. We've taken a strong interest in the New Zealand Thoroughbreds, which have had great success. Obviously with Ocean Park, Silent Achiever coming over, it's a done deal. Prior to his Derby run was flying in Sydney. There's some really nice middle distance horses over there, so we're currently looking at sourcing 1 or 2 horses to bring over. So if anyone is interested in racing the horse with Dream and Bluegrass, yeah, you can send us an email and let us know, because we're looking pretty hard. The tracks are good now in New Zealand, and that's when the good horses are running. Yeah, and
there's no prize money in New Zealand, so you know they're up for an offer, aren't they?
Yeah, so, no, they're sellers, and that's what they breed their horses for.
Yeah, and then we're looking for something at a good price that we can bring across and be competitive in metropolitan races here in the staying race. This is more the staying type of races, so we'll keep you updated with progress on that. We've got a couple of bit of exciting news this Saturday. We've got a couple of runners on Emirates Day. We've got Chosen Moment running in the listed Hilton on the Park over 1400 metres for 3-year-olds. He missed the start by 2 lengths last start and pretty much had no chance after that. He will posse up much closer from barrier 6 this week. Only just needs a steady speed. If he can get a smother into the last 200, he'll be right in the finish if we can peel out from there. So really, Craig Williams is rung us to keep the ride. We're happy to keep him on, and really needs to get that smother. Let him go at the last 200 and he'll be able to finish pretty strongly, and he's a great each way chance. He's $13 fixed odds. Yeah, great each way value for mine on that one. So we're really hoping we can get a win on the board with him. And then we've got one of our favourites, Beringer, running in the last race on the Flemington Carnival over 1400. It's an open handicap. He had a really good blow after the last run at Bendigo. He's got a 10-day backup, which has really worked well for him in the past. He'll strip a lot fitter, and he does go back. He does go better second up from sort of a light. So he's had a bit of a, not a spell, but he's had a bit of a let up. So he does go better second up. Barrier 15, flop out to the back and then storm down the outside, and from the Oaks Day races, Lenny, it looked like they were going to start coming down the outside over that last day.
Yep.
So if they're swooping by the last, yeah, he's going to be about $20 on Saturday by the last race. Yeah, get on him, put him in your quaddies, have a little bit of a go at him each way. You might be able to get out of the Carnival just on the last race. And if everyone remembers, Down Under Boy won this race last year at about $100 in the last race on the Carnival, so the big bolters can get up. So value bets, Lenny. What's your value bets for the weekend?
Value bet is in the last at Flemington. Well, it might be the last race. I don't think it is.
No, it's the second last. Yeah.
Second last, which
you don't want to tip against Beringer, mate.
No. Shawadi, Dave. Really loved his Herbert Power win.
Yep.
He's an import, like all the imports that have come across in the last couple of years. They've dominated our staying races, and this guy had form lines through Joshua Tree and Brigaton.
Yeah.
And he's come over, sat last at Caulfield and blew them away. Would have been a realistic chance in the Melbourne Cup if he got a start. He didn't. He's on an upward spiral. He hasn't had a gut-busting run like in a Melbourne Cup, so he's coming into this fresh, which is going to suit him. The only query that I put on the race is I couldn't see a lot of genuine pace, which for a horse that's going to settle back, he probably needs, but with a stayer that's probably better than the majority of the field, sometimes they don't need it. They just run over the top of them and prove their dominance.
Absolutely. Chosen Moment and Happy Trails are my value bets for the day. They're both great value, so I'd be backing them each way. But I also think Shuadi in the Queen Elizabeth is good value. He's he opened up $5.50 fixed odds. He's actually now into $5. I actually thought he would have opened the favourite. He's actually second favourite for this race, and he hasn't. Flemington will really suit him. Again, he'll swoop down the outside, which he'll be suited for by the time his race is run. He was safe for the Melbourne Cup after winning that Herbert Power 4 weeks ago. So he hasn't gone over the top. He's a very high class stayer. I just think he's got more class than the rest of these. And
I worry about Darren Weir's horse because it looked like he just had it set for that Bendigo Cup, and it's peaked. And I don't know if a horse can. A lot of times they can't maintain that sort of. And
it's not the same class of race, dude. No. This is a better race. He does give a few of them weight, Shuadi, but. No, I think he's on the bid for mine, and I think he's great value at $5. I expect him to be quite well backed on the day, even though they have actually backed Puissance de Lune as favourite already in the early markets. But yeah, Shuadi's the one for both of us. So yeah, hopefully we'll get that running double into Beringer. So now for the on the bid specials for the weekend, Lenny. Who's your on the bid special, mate?
Well, we've had a couple of quiet weeks myself, so. I'm not going to really stick my neck out with anything of any price, but what I am going to give you is a horse that's going to win. It's on the bid, Solon Achiever. It won at the Valley. It beat Group 1 horses in Rangi Rangu and Solzhenitsyn. It's got the really good form lines. That was over a mile. It's getting its preferred trip 2,000 metres here at Flemington. And you've got speed through Candela and Manila Jewel, which is just going to suit a horse like this. It gets back. It's going to get to the outside and it'll just blow them away. She's $1.75 at the moment. Take that. If you like anything else, like a Shuadi, multi it up. Make it 10s.
Yep. And yeah, I think she's been set for this matriarch too. Yep. So yeah, so yeah, it's not a really strong field. My on the bid special is Sea Siren. I'll just go back to Sea Siren. I just think she wins. Nothing more to say for me on the bid for mine, Sea Siren. Off the bit lay for the weekend, mate. Who's your off the bit lay for the weekend?
Eagle Farm.
Eagle Farm?
Eagle Farm.
Yep.
Yeah, I found General Exhibit, race 7, number 1. It's opened up at $2.30.
Yep.
It's only had the 4 starts. Looks promising, but it has drawn the second from the outside in barrier 11. There's speed inside it. It's going to have to work. It's gone up 1.5 kilos since its last run. I just think it's a real risk at the price, and at $1,400 for the first time as well. So there's a few little tangibles there that may prove a bit hard for it. I think at the price $2.30.
Fair enough. I must admit I've never heard of the horse, but if you're going to back it, don't. As he says, it can't win. And I'm off the bit with Flemington Race 6, number 1, Fat Al. I love laying gaze horses. I've made some bad lays over the past couple of weeks, but this cannot win. He's off a 5-week break after winning the Epsom on a track that showed leader bias, and he was able to stack them up and win. But he's up 6 kilos for winning that. And what we've learned over the last 5 weeks since Gaze brought all of her horses from Melbourne is they don't get soft leads. It won't be a leaders track on Saturday. So what I'm saying is he's off the bid. So Fat Al, not for mine, off the bid for the weekend. So it's been a great week's racing, some highlights. It's been a tough weekend of punting, but I'm pretty confident this Saturday, Lenny. There's a couple in there that I think will really get us some dividends.
Well, it helps after once you get to the 4th day, you start to work out the pattern of racing, true, and it all starts to make sense, you know. And you know, your first couple of days can be tough because you're just trying to work out what they're doing and how the track's playing, but we know what it's doing now. So
well, it started to even out on the next day. There was a couple of good winners that we found, so yeah, I think you can be very confident on Saturday. So we're going to go there confident. We're going to have 2 runners, so Dream Thoroughbreds is going to have a big day.